Thank you for logging on to winecask.com. I'm Mitchell Serven from the Wine Cask. I'm here today with Greg Brewer of Melville Vineyards, Diatom, and Brewer Clifton. And we're standing in the middle of the vineyard today to talk a little bit about Melville Winery and Vineyards. This has been in existence since 1997. My wife and I were married here in 2000, so I'm coming up on a 10th anniversary. Very special place to me, but we chose it because of the wine and because of Greg, and we think it's a very special place here in Santa Rita Hills. So I thought I would let Greg tell us a little bit about what makes Melville, and in particular Santa Rita Hills, so special. Greg?
Of course. Santa Rita Hills is really a spectacular spot to be growing fruit. We're about, where we are here at Melville, we're about 14 or 15 miles from the ocean. And the marine influence plays an enormous role because the valley opens up due west onto the sea. It's still very cold current from Alaska coming through. The wind is ferocious in the afternoon. The fog is very predictable during the day, resulting in a very long, very steady growing condition for us, which is ideal for Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. With Melville, we've been here since 1997. We built the winery in '99, which was our first harvest. And we're an estate and always have been. So all of our fruit, we own ourselves, we farm ourselves. And just like in any level, a high level of farming or restaurants, etc., the provenance of raw materials is paramount. And the more and more you can control that source, the more risk you can take, and ultimately the higher levels of success you can enjoy. And so all of our emotion and energy and investment, really on a financial standpoint and on a personal one, is all done outside in the field with the goal of when the fruit comes in during harvest time, the wine is really already done. And it's just a question of discipline and execution inside of the building.
It's great to have that control and have such a beautiful estate to go with it. If I understand correctly, you have Viognier, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Syrah.
Exactly.
And then you make a distinction between your estate bottlings and some of the small lot collections. Could you tell us how you come about?
Of course. Most of what we do here is Pinot Noir, followed pretty closely by Chardonnay. Those are our two main focus varietals here. And really the lion's share of what we produce here at Melville is the primary estate line, Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. And then we have isolated certain parcels in the field that have always, I don't like to use the word superior, inferior, better, worse. I don't believe in that. But certain parcels are very unique in character, much like different cuts of a piece of meat or different sources of a strawberry, for example. It's not that strawberry is better than the one down the street, it's just very different and very specific. And so we've isolated certain parcels over the past decade or so in the vineyard, and those are done on their own inside the winery because everything that we do inside is in very small lots, and it affords us an opportunity to fine-tune and to really kind of dissect what we have here. And then those bottlings have been done on their own as well. And those are what we call our small lot collection wine.
So the past couple of months, if you've logged on, you've noticed we've done some of the old standbys like Coupé with Bob Lindquist and Au Bon Clément with Jim Clendenin. But for the next couple of months, we wanted to take the show on the road. So we're in Melville Estate Vineyards now, and next month we'll feature Steve Clifton's wines. We'll have both Palmina and Brewer Clifton, of which Greg, of course, is the brewer half. But for now, today we'd like to focus on the two different levels of tastings we'll have available during the month of June in the Wine Cask tasting room. First off, our featured tasting will showcase the finest estate wines from Melville Vineyards. The Chardonnay, the Inox, which is a stainless steel fermented Chardonnay, estate Pinot Noir, Viognier, and Syrah. And after that, for the extended reserve tasting, Greg's going to tell us a little bit about both Diatom, which is one of his separate labels from Melville, as well as the small lot collections of Melville Pinot Noir. Greg, tell us first about Diatom.
Of course. Diatom is very much inspired by the soils in this appellation, a lot of which are based in diatomaceous earth, also known as plankton fossil. I wanted my third and final winery project to be very pure to place, both in nomenclature and package, and also wine aesthetic. So the wines are very transparent, they're very edgy, they're very pure, very oceanic in nature. And I just wanted to come as close to soil and as close to appellation as possible. Back to the Melville small lot collection wines, everything that we do here at Melville's estate. However, we have isolated certain sections in the property that we execute on their own, much akin to a small piece of protein, toro ta'ahi, or a special cut of meat as opposed to the rest of the animal. This clone 115 Indigène is from rows really right here, right before us, fermented with indigenous yeast. We only make about 150 cases a year. And Carey's is a parcel on another vineyard we have about a mile from here to the west, a parcel called Carey's. And this wine is, again, it's a very special kind of soil profile. different part of the field, kept separate because it's so unique and particular, and that'll be part of kind of rounding out the reserve program as well.
Great, and isn't it true that all the Diatom bottlings are from vineyards that are all within just a couple of miles of Melville?
Absolutely. Huber Vineyard is about 25 years old, owned by the Huber family, right across the highway, and Babcock is right behind us, right up the driveway. Executed the exact same way.
That's fantastic. I've had great success with these wines at Seagrass Restaurant with the multitude of fresh fish and seafood dishes. Great, clean, pure flavors, great acidity. An excellent example of Santa Barbara County Chardonnay that isn't the old school of over-oaked and overblown. So we've had a lot of great success with that one. I'm sure you're going to enjoy tasting those at the Wine Cask tasting room. Well, one of the favorite attributes of our new Wine Cask Bar Cafe has been our tap wine program. Many people have asked, how does that work? Why? Well, one of the primary reasons we do it is that we like to save on the cardboard, the glass, the cork, the label. This keg can hold just over 2 cases of wine. So think about all the excess bottles, corks, and cardboard that goes into our recycling at the end of the night. So this way we've preserved the idea of having really fresh wine. This during our month of July tasting program will be Verna's Viognier from Melville Vineyards and Estates.
In the case of the keg, what happens is literally from tank to tank, it's about a 5-foot run by gravity, by hose, by me, right into the keg. We tap these up, pressurize them, so it's just as if it were a bottle, albeit a big one. And then we store these kegs here on site, and then whenever we get the call from you, it goes in the back of my car, and on the way home, swing by the restaurant, drop it off, usually have a little sip of something along the way, and so really we're saving steps, and it's a huge benefit that I think you being in wine country and embracing wine country, our local community, is such that we can take advantage of things like this, and it's really, it's farm to table, vineyard to table, if you will.
Thanks again for logging on to winecask.com. Be sure to stop in during the days of July 8th and July 25th. We'll have a chance to meet the winemakers and estate growers of Melville and Diatom. Ron Melville will join us on July 8th, and Greg Brewer will join us again on the 25th. We'll be sure to have some flatbreads and hors d'oeuvres and sample some of these fantastic wines together. Thanks again for logging on to winecask.com, and we hope to see you downtown Santa Barbara very soon.